Hey everyone, it's Hannah Singer and welcome to my channel.
Something about the way you look to me, yeah. Give me a reason, give me a reason, and I will dance, I will dance.
So a couple of weeks ago I uploaded this photo on my Instagram and a lot of people DM'd me asking how to make bread and how to make that recipe, and to be honest, I was like, I just followed a recipe and I don't even know if I did it right. But it turned out really, really delicious and the options are endless. You can make French toast. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I get so excited about food. You can use this bread recipe for a lot of different things. You could honestly just eat it plain, maybe slap some vegan butter on it if you're feeling crazy. Some cinnamon, ooh, that would be good. Okay, sidetracked. But I'm gonna walk you through this recipe. This is not my recipe, this is from Jovial Foods. So I recently tried einkorn flour this past summer and I've been gluten-free for 2.5 years, and then I decided to try einkorn wheat because it supposedly doesn't affect you the same way that bleached flour does, and it hasn't affected me negatively at all. I can tell a big difference when I'm eating einkorn wheat versus when I'm eating like a bleached flour. My stomach does not do well with bleached flours. It hurts really badly. I'm basically just walking through the recipe again from Jovial Foods, the brand of flour that I'm going to be using. So without further ado, let's get into some bread making. So if you didn't know, I'm like a jillion% Italian, and I just feel like it wouldn't be right for me to make bread without repping where I come from. Sono calabrese. This is the flour that I will be using for this bread. It's Jovial Foods, and again, it's just their all-purpose flour. You can use their whole wheat flour for this or their wheat berries, but I'm just using the all-purpose one. So here's my little bread station, and I have the recipe just pulled up on my phone. Again, I'll link the recipe in the description box, but I'm gonna be walking you all through it just so you can kind of see how it is done. I also have a food scale just to really make sure I get perfect measurements. I already have some flour here. It says farina, which is flour in Italian. It's the same exact flour, I just already had a bag opened. So I just have some dry active yeast. So we'll start with taking a bowl. It's 1/4 teaspoon of dry active yeast, or active dry yeast, whichever you prefer. So 1/4 teaspoon. Place that into the bowl and then mix 2 cups of warm water at 100 degrees. So 2 cups, this is a little bit hot, but it's gonna work. 1, 2. So you want the water to look creamy and white. In this bowl, I'm gonna move this aside. I'm gonna start just measuring out flour a little bit at a time. So it's 6 cups of flour. So I'm doing 6 cups of flour. Again, this takes up a lot of flour, so if you're planning on using your flour for other products, you might wanna rethink that. So the reason I'm doing it over a bowl is so that I could get the exact measurement and then use whatever I spill into the bowl to put back in my jar. Start stirring it in. So now we have a full-on bowl of flour and water, and we're gonna start mixing. And I just mix it a little, and then I add in the salt. So for salt, it is 1.5 teaspoons. So that's a half. That's 1. And then last one, half. So then mix that in as well. So this is what we have right now. It's just a super sticky dough, and I'm gonna let it sit. I think this is what it's supposed to look like. I don't really know, to be honest, and I don't remember what it looked like last time, so I'm just gonna hope and pray that this turns out right. Anyways, if you have beeswax wrap, I recommend using that. Unfortunately, I do not, and I have to use what is in this apartment right now. Right now, I'm going to put it in my cupboard and just let it rise and get bubbly and a little bit more moist in here. And then tomorrow morning, I will see you to work on the next step. Okay, this is where I messed up. So if you can kind of see, there's like a little bit of a crease in the dough. Really make sure you knead your dough super well, because if you don't, it will turn out like mine did, where there's a little bubble in the center. So really make sure you take the time to knead it. I kind of rushed this process this round. It still tasted really delicious and turned out delicious for croutons, but for slices of bread, you obviously can't have a hollow center. So just be very mindful when you knead the dough after it sits overnight. So after the bread is all kneaded and put together, you can put it in a normal bowl, but I just had a Bannotonin basket to give it a better shape. And you put it with the seam side up in the bowl or the basket and let it sit and rise for 30 more minutes before baking. So while the bread is sitting in the basket or the bowl for 30 minutes, you want to put your Dutch oven in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes at 500 degrees to heat it up. And then you'll go ahead and place the bread into the Dutch oven. You can make any designs, whatever you desire. Then I reduce the oven to 450 degrees. You're going to want to bake it for 40 minutes at a lower heat like this. And once it gets to 40 minutes, you can decide if you want to put it in for an extra 5 minutes with the top off to make it a little bit golden. Make sure you set a timer, because I am notorious for not setting timers and letting the bread burn a little bit. But I didn't really burn it, it's just a little extra golden. So as you can tell, this bread did not turn out how I had expected, but that is life. It most of the time doesn't go as planned, and you make do with what you got. So I decided to take this loaf of bread that was hollowed out and turned it into croutons. They were so yummy and delicious. I had them on soup and on salads. I also just had them as snacks alone with some hot sauce, which sounds weird, but it was really delicious. So just make sure you really knead the bread super well, and you can still make do if you end up failing like I did, and it will still be delicious. I'm scared. It smells good. Flour. What do you think?
Mmm.
Very good.
Mmm. Okay, here we go. Awesome.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I upload every single Wednesday. Hit the notifications bell and you will get notified every time a new video with my face in it is uploaded. I will catch you in my next video, and always remember to let the earth be your playground.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper.